Today, we are going to be transforming our front yard into fall. We're going to be trimming the edges, freshening up the mulch a little bit, and planting some cool weather flowers. And if you've never been here before, my name is Marlene. Welcome to my home and garden channel. Are you ready? This is what the flower bed is looking like here, guys, at the front. And as you can see, they're definitely at the end of their season, these annuals. It's been a very, very hot summer, unusually hot. And they were little troopers. They held up fairly well, but they can only do so much. Still blooming there, still bringing in pollinators, but we have to prepare for the next season ahead. And this video that I did recently, in this time, will show you how well they were looking. But again, all the good things sometimes have to come to an end. So over here now we have the seed heads, and you can see how they're looking there. I'm going to be saving some of those, either to the giveaway or to put them in another area of the garden, or just to have them in the back to feed the birds when they come in the winter. And I'm going to go in and take out that one as well. And my husband's going to go in and he's going to be trimming the edge of this planter. That's the boxwood, and it's an older one. It's not looking as nice and thick as it used to in the past, but it still looks pretty okay. So we'll keep going until perhaps next spring we'll change it out. And up here we have the myrtle, and I cannot wait until the leaves change color. It's always so beautiful to see those fall colors. So next I'm going to go in and start taking out some of these perennials, like the lilies that have dried down, just to neaten it up a little bit. And they've gotten enough energy, so in the spring they'll be absolutely gorgeous. And I'm also going in and taking out the rose bushes, the ones that are spent, but there's still a lot of little buds left on there. So I am going to go ahead and not trim it all the way back at this point. Got to give them a chance, to come through and do their thing. And you can see here I'm on the Amarilla Kneeler, and it is so effective for jobs like this. And here is my camellia. I'd love to trim it and make it a little bit neater, but the buds have set in, and I want to have a fabulous set of blooms in the winter. So at this point, I cannot cut it back. So we'll do that, after they bloom in the late spring. And here's a neat trick that my husband has. Whenever he's trimming the edges, he goes ahead and he spreads a tarp. And then what that does is that, it allows him to, when the leaves fall off or the little branches, they fall on it, and it makes cleanup very, very easy for him. So if you like that tip, you can give me a thumbs up. If you think you're going to try it, you can also give me a thumbs up for that too. So here he is going in and just trimming them back, and you can see that they're falling right there. And then he just goes ahead, and once they go over in the trash bag, we just, take those away, and it makes it so much easier. And here he's trimming up the sides, and I'm so thankful that he's there to help me with, the heavier tasks like these. It's definitely appreciated. And this is going to be the next patient right here, ready for its haircut as well too. Very, definitely due. And so over here we're using he's using the Saker hedge trimmer, and this is great for the lighter tasks, like the smaller little branches that come off. But when they're a little more solid, then you have to get something a little bit more heavy duty. So in this case, for the holly bush, which is above it right here, he is using the Home Light corded hedge trimmer. And I'm going to be linking this in the description box. If you wanted to get one of those, you can definitely do so. It works really well. And there are some berries on here that will bloom, or I should say will color. They'll come to full coloration in the Christmas season. And we enjoy having those. So even though it's trimming it at the top right there, it's just light at the sides. So we'll still get to enjoy those, when they mature. So this is what it's looking like right here now, guys. And these are my iris, and I left those in place because I like the color they have, and they're gathering more food to be beautiful for spring. So next thing I have to do now is to go in and take out the other coneflowers that are towards the front of the garden. And I also have to go in and change out these annuals that I have right here. So here I am going with my pruners and just trimming them out. And some people say that you can leave them, which you can if you want, if you don't mind them, looking that way in the garden, because, they do offer winter interest when the leaves have fallen off and you just see the little seed heads. They also help to feed the birds in the colder season, and other, insects will live there like bees and so on. So it just depends on what you want. That being said, because I am taking out those annuals from the front, these are some marigolds. They're also annuals as well too. They did really well in this pollinator bed that I have here. I planted them from seed, but I'm going to take them up and put them around the front so that way the pollinators can come in and they'll still have something until the first hard freeze. So that's another way of using it in two different ways. I'm just going to take one of them out, and I'm using my spade right here to take it out. But it's really a useful tool to have in your garden. The soil right here is pretty soft and light, so it came out fairly easy. And what I like to do is whenever I'm taking stuff out, especially established plants, I like to have a big root ball on them so that way it helps to reduce transplant shock. You can see me holding it together. And these gloves also came with the Amarilla garden kneeler. So you can always check it out. It's so useful. So next over here, I have some potting soil, which I'm going to go ahead and add in. Bring it up to maybe about, say 3 inches. When I put the plant in, so to have about 3 inches above. So there's enough space there. And this is a self-watering container, so it doesn't have holes in the bottom, but it has a lid that kind of allows the liquid to come through. And it makes watering less. So if you ever wanted to, you can always invest in self-watering containers. So here I'm going ahead and putting the marigold in. And I just love the fact that I started this from seed, and just look at how beautiful they were in the flower bed. And this one is still doing double duty over here by going to the front yard. I'm just going to fill in with the potting soil, get it to a reasonable level. And this is what it's looking like right here. And I'm leaving the seed heads on, just for that kind of fall interest. It is brittle though, so some of the little branches fell off, but we'll just go through and make the best use of it that we can. So I'm going to go ahead and water the soil. After I water the soil, I'm going to add some mulch, and this is some brown mulch, and then I'm going to go ahead and water it again to make sure that the mulch doesn't pull the moisture away. And as the days get cooler, we'll need to water less because, there's less evaporation taking place. So, that makes our job easier as this cool season comes along. And just a few hours after the marigolds had been repotted, the pollinators came out. We had butterflies and we saw bumblebees, different types of bees coming out. And I was quite happy to see that because right now they're actually getting enough energy, by food so that they can have that to keep them when they are, in their little hideouts during the winter. So they can be ready to come back up in the spring and help to pollinate our fruits and veggies, and of course our other flowers in the garden. This one is a Gulf fritillary. We saw quite a few of those this year, and I used to see them quite often too growing up in Jamaica. The next thing is to get our annuals taken out from this large container, and I'm going to put them where the marigold was in the raised bed in my backyard. So I'm not going to just trash them, right away. So over here now, I'm replacing them with these pansies. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I love pansies. And these are actually 4-inch containers. They were going for $1.98. And there was 2 of them in each pot. So I thought, that was a good value for my money. And, they spread out a lot. So they'll be pretty good to go in this container right here, as well as the round container. And I did get some kale to go along with the ones in the round container. So you'll get to see those, once we do the reveal at the end. And I have my potting soil over here and my brown mulch. And we're going to go ahead and get them going. And over here, this is a smaller container, and I did this one for my back patio. If you had seen my recent video, you would have seen, the step-by-step, of how to get it going from the very beginning, putting in the soil, watering it in and all of that. So if you wanted to see a step-by-step for that, I'll link that video at the end so you can go ahead and check it out and you can see how it is going. And guys, if you've never smelled a pansy before, I would say definitely do so. They smell so sweet and they are so resilient. They survive temperatures even below freezing point. They come right back up and they're so resilient, and they do spread out a lot, and they're going to last you from fall right into spring, sometimes even the early summer, depending on where you're staying. So over here now, the next thing to do was to get my garden flag. And you can let me know if you get garden flags typically for your garden. In most cases I don't, but I thought this time I wanted to add a pop of color with a garden flag, so I ordered this one online. and it came pretty quickly, so I was happy about that. You can see how it's looking here, and I just love the colors that it has, so I wanted to pull those in to tie everything together. And so I'm just opening it here, and you can let me know, you can give me a thumbs up if you're someone that likes garden flags, or based on this one you might give it a try. This was actually 12.5 by 18 inches, so it's a pretty decent size, and it fits with a standard flag post, which I will link in the description box below for you as well. And I also got a little decor to go along on the column on the post as well. And since you have made it this far in the video, if you have never subscribed to my channel before, I do hope that you will hit the subscribe button and tap the notification bell, so you'll see all of my future videos as they come up and you'll be notified. The next thing now was to go ahead and spread mulch on the flower bed, just to have everything look more even and neat. And I'm sorry we didn't get the footage of that one. This is the one that I use this time. Sometimes I'll use pine bark mulch. It just depends on what's your favorite. Some people, they like black mulch, especially, for the cooler months, the winter months and so on. But, whatever you prefer is best. And then over here now, we have a little visitor. I guess he or she's also preparing for the winter ahead. And he was looking at me and I was looking at him. So that was quite cute to see. So now guys, let's take a look at what it was before, so you can see where we're coming from, how it looked like, at the end of summer. A little bit overgrown, a little, rough in some areas, but this was an absolutely hot summer. Some days were actually record breaking for us, so we kind of expected that this was going to happen towards the end of summer and early fall. And here is the reveal, guys. I'm going to show you, how everything ties together from the garden right through to the porch. And I set it to music so you can see some more details of all that we did here. And so guys, as you can see, the chrysanthemums, the red ones, that they blossomed out. These are the ones that I had come back from last year. And I did add in a few more leaves onto the wreath that I had made for the door. And I think it looks so gorgeous. You can tell me what was your favorite part of this makeover that we did of the front yard and the porch together. And I hope it inspires you if you haven't done yours already. And guys, this can take you from, fall right through the good Thanksgiving season, because it's also well tied together. I thank you so much for watching. Happy fall gardening, and I do hope to see you in the next video. Take care.